course, when there's winners, there's also losers. So, Jay, let's talk about the losers from the trade deadline. Shall we begin?
I got one for you. Can I kick it off with this?
I want you to.
It's a city north of us, and I don't understand what's going on. So, last year I was in Los Angeles at the Staples Center before all this stuff broke down. We were doing Lakers-Clippers, and before we even got to that game, the game we had before that was Celtics versus Lakers. And I watched Jason Tatum go off against LeBron. And I was like, damn, Jason Tatum's the guy that should be in the MVP conversation.
Right.
Jaylen Brown got his money, right? You're like, okay, Kemba Walker, like what's championship contender-like team. What has happened to the Boston Celtics? How far off have we gone? Now to a team that we're talking about being in the playoff game, the playoff tournament, right? And everybody's saying, well, they got Evan Fournier. That's how you pronounce his name for everybody out there, Fournier. Talented player, averaging 19 points, can shoot the ball well from the outside. Like, it's just underwhelming for me. We were talking about a team 2 years ago, a couple of years ago, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals multiple times, being that talented of a team. Now to a team who's talking about playing in the play-in tournament, to the play-in tournament. Brad Stevens and company are coming to Jesus-like meetings with Marcus Smart, and they still come out and they lose to the Raptors the next day. Like, I don't know how far they've fallen off, and I feel like Danny Ainge, is it that time? Like, what we saw happen to the 76ers when Daryl Morey came in and they retooled that team with Doc Rivers, it feels like a different 76ers team.
Yes.
It does. Everything about them feels different this year. Could it be the same scenario for Boston? Do we need a change in Boston? Yeah. Do we need somebody to come in and give us new direction for Danny Ainge? Do we need somebody whose voice is just no longer just kind of muffled from Brad Stevens' perspective? I'll tell you one thing that's starting to look interesting for Brad Stevens. Indiana. IU's been sitting there. They're looking for a coach. It's like, how long has Brad Stevens been here? Does he really have the ear of the players? It almost feels like we're at that point. Now, I'm not saying I'm sure.
It gets stale.
But it feels like it's time to talk about that because Evan Fournier does not get them over the hump.
It's not moving the needle for you?
No, but so look at these tiers. The Nets are in tier 1, I think, by themselves because of their talent.
Agreed.
Tier 2, look at the 76ers.
Yep.
Look at the Bucks.
Yep.
Look at what Miami has done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? Tier 3, look at what the Hawks are doing. The Hawks, JWill is a huge addition to their team with Nick McMillan. Look at what's happening with the Raptors will be in that category. Look, the Hornets are in that category. We're talking about the Hornets further advanced than we are the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
If you look at the standings, the Hornets now, LaMelo Ball's injury notwithstanding, the Hornets are in 4th. The Knicks are in 5th. The Celtics are in the 7. They're in the 7-10 bracket right now. They're a mess.
The Celtics are the
Heat,
8th.
Yeah, the Heat
They're
are.
They're
the Heat
one
were
game
6th.
above the Pacers.
Yeah.
And the Bulls just get Vucevic. They're 2 games behind the Celtics.
And the Bulls are right. They're on the rise right now as well. You got to watch that team. So I completely agree with you. And what Danny Ainge has done is he's always the smartest guy in the room. He's collecting all these draft picks, and it was always that anticipation of he's got all these assets. He's going to do something, and nothing. It went from a Kyrie Irving trade, which got everybody's attention, to Kemba Walker. All right, so you're bringing a guy that's more likable. Evan Fournier? Like, that's your move? And they lose Tice. They lose some more defense in front. Now you want Tristan Thompson's now got to be a bigger player for you. Rob Williams, like you've got – I don't know what to make of them, but I wonder if it's no longer a talent issue, but maybe more of what's above the talent. And could it be head coach? Could it be front office? Is it time? It does get stale, Bart.
Get stale after a while. And let's see if are they going to be players in the buyout market? Does anybody
want to go there?
Anybody believe in them? Because we believe that Aldridge is going to be. We believe Aldridge is going to go down to Miami, right? So I mean,
Aldridge is in Miami. He's with the Miami.
Okay,
Heat.
so
he's with the Miami Heat. So there goes that.
So they're going to have to make. Maybe they can have some more moves. And listen, you want to give Danny Ainge the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, it's kind of getting stale and it's kind of going in the other direction.
And
you got to shake it up.
What are you doing with all those assets? And again,
that's the point.
And we're going to start looking at the
They've
Thunder,
lost a lot of them, but yes.
How about the Thunder? The Thunder have 17,
34 picks.
17 in the first, 17 in the second in the next 7 years. You got to spend that somehow. You're not every single pick. You're not making every single pick. Eventually, that capital has to turn into something tangible, and you can't. Like that's what happened with the process in Philly. it started to become a thing of collect draft picks, keep losing, but you'll be able to do something fantastic with it. When? Because we're still waiting in Philly for it to be fantastic. They had to fire everybody and hire new people, and maybe now it'll get there. Danny was doing the same thing. Oklahoma City's doing the same thing. You've got to spend it as much as you collect it. So you call them losers, right? You call them their trade deadline losers.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.